Welcome, one and all. It is Collider Live. It's Tuesday, October 29th, and man, is there a lot of stuff to talk about today. Holy crap balls. But first, let me introduce everybody who's going to be on the show today. We start with Cody Hall, who's Cody in of the Halls. Cody, how's the kid?
I was doing great. He pooped a lot yesterday. Giant size shit. I was so proud.
Good for you, Cody. It's amazing how excited we get when they shit.
It's amazing.
Yeah, because otherwise you're in for it. He also took a shit this morning. Mark Riley is here. Hello, Mark.
This is a true story.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm
You're fine.
No, I need to move.
You need to move? All right, we'll get into that in just a second.
Yeah.
Josh McCouga is laughing over there thinking about Riley's rhinoceros
Morning
poops.
Constitution.
Yeah. She can't poop. She has problems pooping. Her name is Roxy Stryer, and she
That
got
is true.
back from another wedding. How was your wedding?
Shocked. Josh, I've been hearing from everybody you and I are officially in competition.
For
Yeah,
most
sure.
weddings all time.
Yeah.
Were you in the Floridas?
I was in the Floridas.
How was the Floridas?
It was really beautiful.
Yeah.
It
It's
was
nice weather right now.
Beautiful. Yeah, it was 90 degrees, gorgeous out.
Yeah. Good time?
Broke.
But you ever get so did you follow your wedding etiquette that you gave the caller? Did you find anybody that you were interested in?
I went to high school with both the bride and groom. I've known every single person that was at the wedding since I was about 6.
So no high school hookups?
It was definitely, well, I was the only, and when I say only, I mean literally only person who wasn't married who was there. So
Those weddings are the worst. When you're single, those weddings are the worst.
You're like looking around. Like,
I haven't been to one of those in a minute. This was like every single person.
That's
I actually stayed with a husband and wife.
were they all? Well, let me ask the question, and I can probably say I understand. Was everyone pretty much there living in Florida?
No.
Oh no,
From high school.
All Bostoners.
but a lot of Bostoners too.
Yeah,
East Coast,
yeah.
but everybody, they all get
Yeah.
married at like 25,
Yeah.
26.
Yeah,
Wasn't-
they're all for sure.
And
married.
isn't Boca like a very Jewish destination retirement place?
Yeah, it was at their grandparents'
And
country
Italian.
club.
Oh, there you
At
go.
the Polo Club.
It's a
Yeah.
good pizzeria out there named Sal's
In Poca?
in that Boca area.
What's
yeah.
Polka?
Did I say Poca?
Yeah, you got that.
Boca.
My mom
Boca
lived there
Raton.
briefly.
Oh, your mom lived in Boca.
Yeah, and so in that area, she found it first,
Oh, yeah.
because I listened to my mother. She's like, "There's a good pizza place, we'll go." And I went, "All right, well, my mother says it. She's not gonna fuck around," and we did,
And it's good.
it was good.
It's kind of crazy though because like these rehearsal dinners and brunches the next day are like weddings.
Yeah.
It was like a wedding on Friday
Yeah.
night, and a wedding on Saturday, and a
thing.
wedding on Sunday.
It's a thing.
Wait,
Yeah.
you had a wedding on Sunday too?
On
No,
Sunday they
she's
did
saying
a
that-
massive brunch.
Oh,
It was
the
like
brunch.
just like it was a huge thing.
She just saying every day felt like part of it. It was like a thing.
What's a full event, like a weekend of events?
How old are these people?
20 everywhere from 28 to 31.
The actual bride and groom.
Oh, she is 28 and he is 30.
Okay, a good age to get married. Smart age.
They've been together 10 years. They're high school
No
sweethearts.
offense, Cody.
Well,
Yeah, the high school sweethearts have been together 11 years.
Yeah.
so he was a senior when she was a freshman or a junior when she was a freshman?
They didn't start dating until he was out of high school and she was a
rocking the
senior.
cradle.
Yeah, totally.
Not creepy
Totally.
at all.
I gave
College
a
high
killer
school.
wedding speech.
Oh, were you the maid of
you were
honor?
the maid of honor?
No, it was
Oh.
so we did the rehearsal dinner speech. Her 3 best friends from high school, and then the sister
I
was
see.
the maid of honor.
And they said, Roxy, you're on the radio. You do a speech.
Yeah, we fought, me and my 2
Oh.
best girlfriends from home, about what was acceptable for the speech. I wanted to roast a little bit. They were like, "That's not nice.
Yeah.
I
It's
hate
not
that.
nice." I was like, "It's funny. It's fucking funny."
Make him laugh, make him cry, get the hell out.
Yeah, but they wouldn't let me say shit.
It depends
That
on what you were
blows.
going to say, though. I got to be honest.
Really?
Yeah,
You think sometimes I'm not funny?
Sometimes, I think that if McCouga, I think if McCouga was hitting the speech, I'd be a little bit more. I'd be like, all right, I'll give him a
My
shot.
shit was really funny. It was really funny.
Did you?
I'm telling
Let's
you.
hear it.
Well, let me be funny to you. You don't know.
Well, okay.
Bad sign.
Insert. Okay, did you try and make
I
like?
believe
Okay,
you,
here's how I
Ross.
wanted to start.
Okay,
so
go.
both of them dropped out of college to like end up moving back home to be together.
Okay,
they
you lead
finished
with
out.
that, yeah.
They finished out at home, but they both went to college in different states and then moved back home to be
Sore
together.
subject to the families or no?
Yeah, might be to the mom and
so
dad.
I don't know. So what I wanted
Also possibly.
so I wanted to start with. But
I
they
know
have-
a lot of Jewish
They
families
have.
wouldn't
There were
say
still
that.
250 people at the wedding. They have more
Right.
friends than God. Like everybody was there and their mother.
I think God
so
has more friends than 250, but I understand what you're saying.
I wanted to start with camp friends make some noise, high school friends make some noise, family make some noise, college friends make some
a
noise.
little whoop whoop in there.
And not one college person would make any noise because
Right.
they don't have a single friend from college. It would
Right.
just be silent. I thought that was fucking funny.
Would say they made no friends in college.
No, because
nobody
they
there
dropped
from-
out and left it. Not one person there was from college.
I see what you're saying. Because she said they didn't go to college, so she would throw. That's
But
actually
no, they
funny.
actually
Yeah,
made
like-
it to
Yeah,
college, but
yeah.
they dropped
No.
out.
They left to go
right,
to
they left
college,
college.
and before they could even like get through with anything, they moved home
Got
to be
it.
together.
So it's good.
Yeah,
I like
thanks.
that.
That's a
I
good
thought it
joke.
was
That's
That was
funny.
good. That was
They
good.
were like, "That's so mean, Roxy."
That?
Yeah.
All right, I'm on your side.
That was
That's
the
good.
level
I'm
of
on your
stuff I
side.
was
I'll
trying to
give
do.
you that
I'm on your side.
Okay.
Like that's
You're one
wedding
for one.
speech etiquette,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm on your
So,
side for that
yeah.
one. That would have been
one.
good. Yeah, it was good.
It was all things on that. Like it's not like they're the most hysterical jokes in the
No,
world,
but it's a
for
good wedding joke.
speech,
It's a wedding joke. Yeah, it's like
they were like, "You're gonna make them cry."
no, because if you start, because if you went, then you started and you were like, no, nobody. All right, moving on.
God, exact. That's
Yeah.
exact. My next line was nobody. All right then.
Yeah,
And then,
that's fine. Okay,
yeah.
Rox.
Thank
I
you.
step back. I
Give
step
it
back.
to
Your
you.
friends
Thank
are
you
being
so much.
your friends are being dicks.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you. But then, oh God,
Uh-oh, what
it
happened?
didn't even matter because
Your friends bombed.
no. The
They
first
killed?
speech of the night was the dad of the groom, and it was possibly the most inappropriate wedding speech I've ever heard in my entire life.
Go on.
Yeah.
It was
Yes. I love these.
unbelievable, guys. Like when everybody's
So
sitting
before
there,
he meets this broad, condoms everywhere.
well, basically.
Really?
So we're sitting
yes.
there. The rabbi's at the rehearsal
Yes,
dinner.
they got the rabbi.
Her boss.
Hey,
everybody,
Rabbi, remember that time we caught him in the bushes fucking his girlfriend? Hey! Whoa, look at the toilet.
6 of their grandparents.
Oh,
And he
man.
was like, when your daughter used to started rolling around in my
Oh, no.
house,
Rolling around.
she'd be in there for a couple of minutes, and then as time went on, the bedroom door would be locked for a few more minutes, and I knew whatever she was doing in there was making him stay. You know what I mean? And we were all like, I mean, you're talking about
Yuck.
like an 18, like this is like a young, ugh.
How about
it was
but
so
and
Simmer down,
I just
Dad.
I just picture like a balding guy with like hawks, and he's just like, huh?
Yeah, like Polly Walnuts.
Yeah.
Shit.
But with the Boston accent, so
Yeah.
just add that.
Paulie
it was
Walnuts
like,
is the best thing ever, though, when he turns over and he goes, hey, you hear what I just said to him?
Yeah.
What I just said to him was the door would have been a little bit open because she knew what she was doing.
that's what. So he wouldn't. It wasn't landing. He wasn't getting the laugh. So he explained.
Right.
So he would start.
So
He
it was
started
Paulie
explaining.
Walnuts.
It was Paulie
See, the
Walnuts.
thing is,
It
though,
was like the thing.
they were fucking.
They were fucking, and they were in the room, and that's how she got him. And it was
Oh,
like,
God.
oh no, it was so painful.
Before I forget and pause the story for a second, coming right back to
the
it.
whole story.
Don't want to forget that Stevie Van Zandt, Silvio, is in An Irishman.
Oh, he is?
Briefly.
How was the movie?
Fantastic.
Good. I saw Knives Out last night. Really good.
Really good also.
Yeah, really
All right,
good.
back to the story. So
Yes.
wait,
That was-
it's
that-
not the end of it, trust me.
It was so. It was also like a 17-minute speech.
Okay, right.
Of
So
and
this is the bride. This is the
groom's
groom's
father.
right? So so does he get up? But does he?
I was just gonna say.
Does he finish going like,
'Cause it's
yeah,
rehearsal.
Maury, what do you think? And
Yeah.
give the high five? Or is it like, no, I shouldn't have done any of that because
But-
I was drinking too much.
No.
He thought he crushed
thought
it.
he crushed.
I mean, everybody was like,
I pictured Dennis
he was
Franz.
like, oh, best wedding speech ever.
Ever.
Like,
was
he,
anybody filming this? Because is this
Yeah,
going to
yeah, it is
show
on-
up
Can you
on?
get it
on-
for the show
I will
for my
try.
last day?
I will try. I
Okay,
will
'cause
try.
we
It was.
can
Because
analyze
it feels like it's going to show up on one of those like wedding, like the
Right.
worst wedding
Yeah.
videos
Ever.
on
Speech ever.
YouTube.
Yeah, it was wild. But then the rest of the speeches were really beautiful and funny.
It was like a cleanser.
Just starting, it was
They
like,
had to be.
Yikes.
yeah. I mean,
It's like an open micer.
you know when a lot of people then start poking fun at that first speech,
Of course.
like because they get out there like, how about that dad?
Well,
yeah.
I just went through something similar, not as bad as that. But so we went to my friend's birthday party over the weekend. My wife and I actually got a night out, and we went. And so his family was there, and his sister, I don't know, younger sister. She's probably, but still probably like 35, 40, and she's hammered. And she gives a speech, and she's like, so the thing is that, like, oh, you guys, Rob, we went out this time, and when we got back, and then he's on the couch, and the cops, and they're like, I can't get up, right? And everyone's like, what the fuck did she just say? And then, but then he comes over.
You have
and
to
he goes,
limit.
But he comes over, and he goes, yeah, what
5
she's trying to
minutes
say
max.
was, because after what I just said, you'll get it. He goes, we went out one night. We got back. I drank way too much. I fell asleep on the couch. The alarm went off. I didn't move it. I didn't get the alarm. So the cops came. They were waking me up. They woke me up, and I was too drunk because the alarm was on. None of that was said.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, nobody could follow what you said. And then like, alarm. And,
No more than 3 drinks pre-speech.
Oh my God.
No more.
It was a mess.
I mean,
No
depending on. I mean, I was in New Orleans for my brother's speech. I probably had 45 drinks and I crushed.
I'm talking about me.
you.
Me for
Right.
my
Yeah.
side. I cannot do
You can't do it, right.
more than 3
But you
drinks
know how to limit yourself.
pre-speech.
Right. But here's the difference. See, he knows how to do it where he's going to hit his drinks, be fine.
Yeah.
Pops over there probably said, you know what, 43 scotches and I'm going to crush this fucking
And he
thing.
probably told his wife, or his wife and he still together?
No.
Divorced.
No,
yeah,
come
of course.
on. After a speech like
I
that.
mean,
It was
come
right
on.
after the speech.
His
She followed
girlfriend
the-
was there, though.
Oh, okay, great.
In the 20s?
No, a little older. She's not quite at my dad's level. Yeah, a little older.
Amazing.
The dad, like, she probably was like, hey, do you want to try like run some things by your speech by me? He's like, I'm gonna wing it.
I got
it.
I got it.
You don't got it.
You don't got it. You gotta have a couple.
If you are not like a professional that knows how to speak into a microphone either, you're going to bomb if you've never even tried it.
You have
before.
to type up your speech.
Yes.
And
But when
have
I'm at
one.
the bar
Like,
and we're watching the game and I throw the one-liners out, they crush.
You crush.
we did a funny thing where we pretended we found her diary and we read different entries over
As
the
him?
10 years. No, like
Oh,
to
your
him,
relationship.
like I'm a.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it was
That's-
cute. It
that's nice.
played well. We
Good
did
theme.
because they wouldn't let me be funny. Instead, we went like, "Oh, that's cute. That's
Yeah.
cool." You know.
When we,
Yeah, I think you led. I think that you led wrong because the thing is too. I think that because they probably were like, Roxy, what do you? Because you could be known to say some
Yeah,
things, and they
they
probably
know.
thought. But that was. I thought that was a tasteful, classy
Well,
thing. As
well-
opposed to wait, and you were going to follow up fucking Dennis
I
Franz
know.
over there.
That's
You
what
could-
they turned to me and they go, "We're sorry. You could have said anything you wanted after
Yeah.
that."
Yeah.
But they were paranoid because 11 years ago when this relationship started,
they were both banging other people.
Oh.
very much so. He was dating our other friend,
Oh,
and
was
they
she
were
there at the
best
wedding?
friends. No. She is a lesbian, so things worked out
nice
very
job,
well.
nice job.
Twists and turns of
I like it.
yeah, but he was dating for like years our other best friend, and then he just started sleeping with this one, and we all knew, and
That was going to happen.
yeah, but we all thought that this would break up after like a minute.
But
and then
they live in
stayed
Boca?
together. No, they don't live in Boca.
why'd they get married in Boca?
Because their grandparents have that country club there, and it was a
so
whole
it's convenient
thing.
and it's
Yeah.
cheap, and that way you could get everybody
cheap.
out.
Yeah.
It's
For- well, for them, it's
for them,
for them because they have like a whole deal.
Cheap
Like
as far as
for
like,
anybody else, it
fly
would have been
out.
so
Right.
expensive.
Right.
But yeah, for
But
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they
They're like,
had all of us
you get
fly.
a free trip to Florida.
Yeah.
Wasn't a free trip for
Not
Roxy.
for you.
It's very expensive. I stayed with a husband and wife that I love very much,
Okay,
but
that's nice.
I
But
called
you
them
have to be
before
in
and
the
I was
middle.
like, I know that this sucks for you guys' sex life because like this is the one time you guys get to vacation and like be away from.
And you're there.
But like it's so expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so to stay by yourself when it's like $500 a night. It's just
insane.
like
But I don't know
no.
if you feel this way too, and most couples, but you're maybe somebody different. When you're not, at that point, you're not thinking about sex. You're
Yeah,
trying to figure out the wedding.
Yeah, they were like 100% stay with us, no worries
Yeah,
at all.
because they're like,
They
we'll fuck on the honeymoon.
yeah. They were.
I get
it was
it.
all fine.
You know, so at the honeymoon, she really was doing it right. He stayed
door
with
was
her.
closed the whole
He
time.
stayed with her, and the sun, it was gleaming on both their asses.
Ooh.
All right.
She was into the butt stuff, for what I hear.
Have you done this yet?
The dog.
Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah, well, you just ruined the bit.
Yeah, I did.
You
Yeah.
did?
With the blowing up in the yard?
No. Forget it. We were supposed to guess what that was.
I would guess it's a dog.
Now you would guess that right. Correct. Thank you, McCoy.
Pay attention.
Right on.
Can we do? You know what we can do? Let's do. We do have one other one. So this is the one we give to Perry. You have to guess what this is, and I feel like were you here? You might have been. No, you were here for this, but I still see if you get it anyway, even though you were here for it. You know what I'm talking about, Cody?
I think so.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's play this clip, and we'll see.
Oh, that's the cactus
Yeah, you were
thing.
here for that.
Yeah. That's my least favorite kind of video, and you know it.
I saw
never
one.
gets
I
old.
saw one this morning that I was going to pull, but I said, but for you, I didn't pull
didn't.
it because
Thank you.
it's fucking funny as hell, but it's also a bit disturbing. So there's a. Did you see this? The two bunny rabbits.
No.
So there's a bunny rabbit on the side of the road,
And
there's
it's
a,
fucking another bunny rabbit.
no, there's a dead rabbit.
as they're known to do.
It's a dead rabbit next to it, and so the guy.
no.
And so the guy filming is like, oh man, he's He's like, I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry. He said, that's sad, yo. And he's looking at it, and then he's like, yo, and he's trying to move the thing over to the side of the road, and the thing keeps like nudging it like the Ewok in Return of the Jedi.
I was going there.
And he's like, oh man, I didn't do it, man. I didn't do it. He's like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. And the other rabbit starts snuggling him, and he's like, oh man, this is sad shit. And then the other rabbit starts fucking him, and the guy goes, yo, you fucking him? He goes, you savage. It's amazing.
That's amazing.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Fucking bring it up. Let's see if we can find it.
Yeah, we gotta see this now.
Have you guys seen the squealing guy on the bridge?
Bunny
Like,
humps dead bunny. See if that comes in
I
there.
think somebody
It
tweeted
sounded
it
terrible.
at us, or maybe they sent me an Instagram video of this guy, and he's on a bridge. It's like
There
the
it is.
Indiana Jones.
There it is. Yeah, just listen.
Oh
This
no.
real homie right here. Look, homie done passed away, and he ain't leaving his side. Hey, homie. I know it probably hurts, bro. We gotta get out the road, G. Get out the road. I know. Damn, homie. Oh,
No, don't touch the dead rabbit.
Yeah,
He's trying to move it over to the side. He's trying to move it to the side.
bro, I'm sorry, bro. I just know I didn't do it. G. Man, I'm sorry, homie. Fuck, bro.
the fact that rabbit
Damn,
didn't
you
run
ain't
away.
leaving your homie side, bro? Oh, man, that's sad, G. Fuck, that's sad. Oh, what you been doing? What you doing? You humping it, nigga? God damn, you a savage.
Just cuts. Dude, I saw that this morning and I lost my mind. I thought it was.
That's so good.
Wow.
I
We
love
finally
his
got
reaction.
Roxy on an animal
Well, I
video.
love this
Because nobody's
reaction.
getting hurt.
Yeah, and his reaction is so good. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. What you doing?"
Would you guys pet a rabbit outside like that?
No,
I mean, you know.
I mean, that thing could have like rabies.
totally.
I don't. Do rabbits carry rabies?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do they? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't go petting a rabbit anyway, so
I know.
don't have to
I
worry
thought
about
rabbits always just like ran away from you. That
No.
rabbit was like very.
And his eyes were creepy.
I know.
it.
It's a good one.
Both my kids are obsessed with this
That's
dog.
a dog?
Yeah,
what
it's
was
a French
the video?
bulldog.
Oh, when he gets on the couch?
No, this one he's singing in the car.
Singing in the
but,
car.
But they do there's like songs now for it and it's really good. Did you
name's
see
Walter.
the cartoon that they based off of your first time you got the whiff of at the Phil Collins concert when you got
Yeah.
you saw the
It's
cartoon?
great,
It's great.
yeah.
It's really good. What are you texting, Roxy? What's going on? Is it the
Did-
people from the wedding?
No.
What is it?
Life. Liberty, the pursuit of
What are you
happiness.
doing?
I'm just trying to
You
figure
know
it
better
out.
than this.
It was important.
No, what was it?
I don't want to tell
No,
you.
you have to know. You did it on the air.
I do not want to tell you.
You did it on the air.
No.
Then don't do that again.
Okay. But I still have to see what they said. So in 30 seconds.
Did Cody, see if you can pull up guy squealing on rope bridge. I think might be the name of the thing. Let's see if you can pull
Is
this
that
up.
soil
'cause
moon fry on the bottom? What's that?
Soleil.
What is soil moon fry?
Punky Brewster.
Soleil moon
Oh.
fry?
Safety cord falls off harness as man
no.
hopes on high bridge. Guy falls into water. Double A framing monkey bridge.
No.
Sounds good. Ultimate Boy Scout rope bridge. Horrifying footage shows thugs torturing. No, I don't want to see that.
No. It's not there. I think it was on my Instagram. I don't know how I send
Wow,
a
we
video
got
like that.
I said to myself, I was like, "Oh, look at this! We got the 10:30 quick, but we
Yeah,
started late.
We started late.
Yeah. We started late. We thought we were going to start late, and this isn't Roxy's fault at all. We were going to start late because I had to go to the dentist, and I thought that
Why would it be Roxy's fault?
because I'll say it in a second.
Oh.
At 10:15, I said, "Well, can we start at 10:15 today? Because I'm probably that's probably the time I'm going to get back
Oh,
from
you
the
got here
dentist."
early.
And I got here about 10 to 10.
Oh,
so and then you weren't here because you were told not to
Yeah.
be here at the times, but it was your fault. Okay.
Yeah, when I walked in, you guys were all here. I was like,
Yeah, what happened? It's true. I shouldn't even said it this morning. I texted Riley just to remind him. Say, hey, can we start? And I was like, as I drove, I said to myself, "Shit, man, we probably could have just started on time."
How did you get here today?
I follow.
My God.
I did the Siri thing. It took me. I had to get to Toluca Lake first. 'Cause that's where the dentist was. But it took me a whole new route because of all the fires and
The
everything.
fires, but then they closed the 101
Yeah.
both ways
I know.
because of there's a situation
What's
in
the
LA.
situation?
There's
was
a
a
man
jumper, I
on a bridge. Yeah.
Oh, is that what you were talking about?
Where?
Oh,
Yeah.
I think off the 101, one of
Right
those
now?
overpasses.
Near the fire?
Currently,
what's he
No,
doing?
jumper.
He's a jumper.
He's like,
On the
they're
what-
trying to.
what-
I
bridge?
get what you're saying, but wasn't that part of the bridge already shut down?
I didn't.
No, this has nothing to do with the fire or anything. It's over by Hollywood Boulevard. probably Sunset area, right around that area, probably like right around
Did
the
they
dark
get him?
light.
Did they get him?
They've been trying to talk him down since last night, and he's still there.
Shit, he's been
yeah.
there since last night.
Yeah, that's what we just
But that's
heard.
somebody
That's
who
exhausting.
I think probably really would like to be talked down.
I think so.
If he's there for that
I
long,
hope so.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
hope so.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
hope so.
Right.
Yeah, so it's everywhere in LA right now is awful.
Yeah.
This is like just the craziest.
Crazy.
Guys,
I-
climate change is effing real.
You guys know that
very real.
I'm afraid of real things. Like I don't get scared of
Right,
scary
those
things.
fires.
So I'm afraid of earthquakes. You guys know when I feel a shake, I stop the show. I want to get under
Yeah,
the table.
Yeah.
The fires are much scarier because they are here and they're happening
Every year.
all of the time.
At
Not
this
every
time.
year, all the time.
Last year at this time.
It's usually stronger around this time.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, it's not like we had one fire this year.
No, I know.
There've been
the wind's been
and winds tomorrow. If they don't get it under control by tomorrow, the winds are supposed to be so
I know.
bad tomorrow.
I know.
We're
Well,
in big trouble.
So yesterday, and I was on the air when you texted me, but you were checking in on me to make sure everybody was okay.
'cause
it's
you're
closer,
right,
It's
yeah.
closer to where I am. When I was, and I think I said it on the air yesterday, when I was driving here, I saw this big cloud. I was on a phone, and this big cloud of smoke. And I was like, holy shit, this is even big, because there was one, 2 weeks ago that I saw, but not the actual fire itself. And then I looked to my left, and I see, oh, look at that, the mountain's on fire. Like, right
This is. I have a picture of somebody who lives right near you, Christian, that I
Yeah.
had them send me from their apartment, like literally right near you.
Yeah.
I'll show you. I can send it to Cody too. But this is right where you live at nighttime.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy, like massive, massive.
Yeah, send
fires.
that to Cody. And then
Yeah, and it's, oh my God.
Looking out the window of their apartment, there's like,
Not
we were
just here,
watching
it's
it-
in Sonoma
No,
as well.
I know. We were watching
Winery's
it.
gone.
We were watching it with because my wife loves local news and loves Dallas Reigns, and we
Let's run.
yeah, that's what he does. He says these stances. He's like, and come on over there.
Yeah.
There's the fire, and he's moving.
He's a
his hands.
WWF wrestler
He
that does
really
weather.
is, and he's got his and the
suits are
suits are
insane,
your
yeah,
style.
yeah.
But then the kids are jumping around, dancing, and I look. They look up, and two go, oh, fire! Yeah, big fire.
Yeah.
and not then so clueless about what the fuck is going on.
My 92, 94-year-old grandparents, Grammy and Papa, who you guys know I talk about all the time,
Yeah, yeah.
are
Look at that.
Under evacuation?
No, they're right by the Getty Center.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
They're in Bel Air,
Yeah.
and they're in a risk zone, but not in an evacuation mandatory zone.
Right.
And I'm on the phone with them yesterday, trying to convince them that like it's better to leave during the daytime than if you guys are going to have to evacuate
Right.
at night. It's going to be really confusing. Papa has dementia. They're
right.
older, and I'm trying to convince them that they should go. And my grandfather gets on the phone with me and is like. He's a World War II vet. He's like, I'm 94 years old. This isn't going to be the thing that gets me. Like,
Good for him.
I'm not leaving my fucking home. I was like,
Papa, go for it.
Yeah.
You know,
my dad.
okay.
My dad does the same shit for like when there's hurricanes in Florida. He's like, everybody's complaining. They knows they're full of shit. He's like, they always make it worse than it really is.
Grammy was like, I put all the photographs by the door. I was like,
Yeah.
you think that makes me feel better? Like,
So she's ready, is what she's
they're all
saying.
digital now anyway, Graham. Like,
I want to talk to my mother-in-law about it because I guarantee I've had so many ridiculous conversations with her about in general. I was like, so, Pat, you see the fires? That's fake news. It's just an agenda. It's not an agenda, Pat. There's fires right outside.
Whose
Yikes.
agenda?
Yeah,
The fires.
Atmosphere.
It's just the agenda of they want to put scares in everyone. It's like no, they don't want to put scares. It's
The
fire.
news,
You can
huh?
burn your face, Pat. Please, and don't fall again.
There's-
All right, let's do something else. Let's move to news. We got a lot of it, right?
There's a lot. I don't know. What do you want to start with? I mean, we have big news. We have the trailer. We
Well,
have
the trailer.
Ewan McGregor.
The trailer we'll
we-
do at 11, but let's do this. Let's start with the Benioff and Weiss thing because
They're gone.
they're gone. And this was
Wild.
crazy. But we said this. We said this
Yeah.
on this show. We said that if
Not surprising.
Yeah.
Wild.
Well, it is
Yeah,
no
wild.
doubt, no doubt. But remember when we were talking, the first thing, Ryan and I were just talking about this off air.
Yeah.
The first thing that happens is that they announce that they're going to do this. They've been, and by the way, they've been developing this thing for a very long time. It's the Star Wars thing, at least 2 years, at least, if not more. And they're involved in it. They were going to do 3 movies. At first, it was a series of films. It wasn't 3.
Trilogy.
It was no. At first, it was a series of films. Then it was announced as a trilogy. Right, and okay, now it's a trilogy. They're not necessarily going to be directing it, but they're going to be writing it. They're going to be producing it. They're involved.
2022 was when it was the first
Yep.
ones coming out.
And then there was the report of you know what? They're going to be writing the treatment and they're
Yeah.
going to be consulting, but not necessarily involved in all 3. Okay, and then the Netflix deal happens. And then Kevin Feige's getting involved in a Star Wars movie. Well, when's that fucking movie going to come out if these movies are coming out? And then they do this thing with the Game of Thrones. Then they get more backlash. And now, once again, directors that were, or producers, directors, writers, whatever, that were involved in a Star Wars project are gone. It's happened now, 4 times?
This is ridiculous.
It's Colin Trevorrow, Lord Miller. Who was it? Lord that wrote.
Phil Lord just tweeted one word out last night, and it was "yup."
Right.
He literally just went "yup."
That insinuates more than
That speaks volumes to me.
What do you guys think happened?
Shit, man. If you look, I mean, there's a lot of different things that could have happened.
Right.
Creative differences is one thing. The fact that they just did not see eye to eye with Kathleen Kennedy of what they wanted to do, what Lucasfilm and Disney wanted them to do.
But this was a signed contract. So do you think that Disney bought them out of the contract, or do you think that they wanted to walk away?
Maybe a little
bit
both.
of both.
Maybe a little both. Maybe and what was the agreement to when they knew maybe they were starting to develop it, knowing it wasn't going anywhere, that they then said, yeah, let's do this Netflix thing. And then Disney's like, well, I guess you guys aren't really all heads in with us. Mm-hmm. And then, you have Benioff and Weiss probably, well, you're getting Feige involved. What do we need to get involved in this for? So is Feige taking over what they were doing in the first place? Are they going to be doing something completely?
Is there a trilogy?
Well, Feige is now running Marvel, all of Marvel.
Right.
And so if they can't do it because of the Netflix deal, which is a spin,
That's
a complete spin.
Well, they shouldn't have signed this. If they had this first, they shouldn't have signed the Netflix deal if they were part of this. Yeah.
I mean, these quotes that came out not only from them but Kathleen Kennedy is so scripted.
What were her stuff?
David Benioff and Dan Weiss are incredible storytellers. We hope to include them in the journey forward when they are able to step away from their busy schedule to focus on Star Wars. That's bullshit.
That is brutal.
Yeah.
She was trending #1.
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Kathleen
bad. It
Kennedy
happened
is
again.
It's too much.
I think that this is probably what's going to happen. She's got because it's all about money. We know this. She's going to hit a home run with Rise of Skywalker as far as financial goes. The movie's going to make a shitload of money.
And Mandalorian too. It's going to look like it's going to really go off.
Even though
they don't really make money
as
in
Mandalorian.
But it's still as long as it's critical and it sells tickets to
harder to gauge.
Disney
it's
Plus.
different.
It is. It's harder, but it still falls under her regime. So we'll give you that. But the big money is Rise of Skywalker. I think she walks off the court after that one.
Yep.
Get the fuck out of there because it ain't working.
Yeah.
You keep losing her. And you said this off air, and I could not agree more. She seems to go get the hot toy when it's hot.
Yep.
She goes after J.J. Ryan Johnson and
Trevorrow after Jurassic World blows it out of the
Lord
park.
and Miller,
Yep.
and then she's like, okay, they're popular, do it. And then, well, that's not what I want. Well, but this
That's
is why
what
you
we are.
hired us.
Yes.
But that's not. I want to do this instead of and then it falls apart. She can't hold on to directors and writers and producers. This is why it's one of these things. She's either doing too much, or she's just getting involved too much.
But let me ask you this,
Old
because
studio thoughts.
Maybe
it's not like Star Wars is the only franchise that's had this. Marvel has lost directors.
Sure.
So
Totally.
has DC. Do you just find that Star Wars has done it more often, or do you
Absolutely.
think
more often and way more publicly and in strange times like. The DC thing, you could look at the Flash, right?
And the Batman, Flash,
Which
the
Batman? Which one? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just trying
Oh,
to.
Ben Affleck.
We've
the
lost
Affleck
actor,
situation,
but remember
yeah.
he was supposed to, before Matt Reeves, he was directing, producing, writing,
Right.
working on.
That's a different situation because of the stuff he was going through personally, and like that's a whole different scenario.
Same thing with Snyder, who was going through stuff personally.
Yes,
But I'm
so
just
that's-
saying that there have been directors, and the Flash situation. This is our third set of directors.
That's another that one I think is the easiest one to equate this one to because the other two are more personal situations and that can happen to anybody and even if that's what happened in Star Wars I'd say well that's not really on her.
Marvel with Thor with Michelle McLaren.
That's a good example. Yeah, that was
trying to
Patty
think.
Jenkins.
Patty Jenkins.
Patty
Patty
Jenkins.
And that was what 7 years ago or something. So it happens.
Yeah.
You're right. But this has happened
Often.
And Rogue One, it almost happened too. It was just it did happen. It was just quieter because they brought Tony Gilroy in to do all this stuff, and Gareth Edwards just was the only one out of all these people that played ball. Colin Trevorrow didn't want to play ball. He
It's actually
fought
smart of him, probably.
for his career.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it worked out. But you look at Colin Trevorrow didn't hurt him because now he's doing the other Jurassic movie, and it's just. But Lord and Miller, boom, bump heads, and then they crush it with Spider-Man, Spider-Verse. So, and I know they didn't direct that, but they had their
produced
hands.
it and it's
They
animated,
had their
so
hands
it's
all over
different.
it. Yeah. But yeah, it's between. I mean, we're only looking at what 4 years.
Yeah,
if you
it's-
look at all this, 2015 was really when they started to get all these people in.
And Kathleen Kennedy, you think, is the reason for that?
One of to say she's the only reason isn't fair, but she
A top reason.
when
Could
you're
be
the, when-
Iger as well, and could be all of those things.
but when you're the president of the company, it falls on you.
Yeah.
and it's one of these things to where it's like it's just time. It's like you've had your run, and I think. She's gonna hit that final shot. She's gonna walk. She's gonna be working for a very long time. She is a good producer. She is, but the Star Wars thing is just not working.
That
Yeah,
statement
I've
was
always-
so woof.
It's
so
awful.
woof.
Yeah.
Here's what I've said on Rule of Two a number of times, and why Feige is, I think, successful with Marvel is that he understands the property, he understands the mythology, he plans it out way in advance, and then based on everything now, all these directors going off, Kathleen Kennedy's a great producer, but I don't think she understands the mythology. I don't think she knows what really truly is Star Wars at its core.
No, she just had to
She
make
just
movies.
goes. She goes, oh, we need to make a movie. Let's get that person. Let's get that
Right.
person. Let's get that person.
Right.
And then the mythology creeps in with all the fans' reactions and everything, and she
But here's
then
the-
has to let these people go.
And this is something that I don't think she realizes, and I think that even should be clarified from something that you said yesterday that I thought was accurate, was that the majority of the ticket sales, I know, the majority of ticket
Patches.
sales
What?
that I know
Man.
that come from, I didn't finish, I could be wrong, but the majority of ticket sales that come from all these movies, the Star Wars movies, we'll focus on the Star Wars movies, come from the casual fan, because the casual fan has to see your movie in order for it to be a hit. Now, repeat business from hardcore fans obviously has a lot to do with it, but at the core, the reason that these movies do work their best is because you have this core hardcore fan base. They are the nucleus. They are it's the Star Wars fans that do care about this inside baseball stuff, that do care about the fun, the lore, and keeping it true and all that. It's that grows it out, and that passion spreads to other, because the hardcore fan takes his friend who doesn't know, or her friend who doesn't know Star Wars, and brings them there too, and hopefully that spreads. But you can't ignore that as the creator, and that I think she does. I think she looks at Star Wars fans and goes, it's more about the consumer who's paying the dollar. I don't think she cares about the hardcore Star Wars fandom. It's my personal opinion.
As an isolated incident, are you upset that Benioff and Weiss are no longer working on a Star Wars trilogy?
Not so much, because it's not about that. It's the bigger problem of why does this keep happening?
Right, but
Yeah.
I'm asking you, this specific one is not a huge uh-oh or a bummer for you.
Yes, it is, if it means, because I'm 95% sure that they were working on like an Old Republic type thing.
yeah.
And if that goes away now, if they don't do that anymore because that was kind of their vision and they don't think anybody else really wants to touch it, yeah, I'll be bummed because I want to
Right.
see. I want to
You
see.
want an Old Republic
I want an
movie.
Old Republic.
Same.
Bad series.
And you
whatever.
think that's
it might be.
95% likely, you're saying? The Old Republic might go away because of this?
No. I'm just saying that's.
If
I'm
that
pretty
is.
sure
That was
that's.
probably what they were
I'm pretty
doing.
sure that's what they were working on. Let's say 90%.
Riley, what about you for this? As an isolated incident, are you upset to not have Benioff and Weiss?
You know, if this would have happened at the height of Game of Thrones, where we were all, and this is
board.
before season 8, I would have been upset. I would have been, oh my God, these guys are crushing it. Then we see Game of Thrones season 8 come. It kind of goes out on a
It's got a little
whimper.
less Jedi on it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
At least for the fandom, for me, I wasn't that involved against it. It just kind of faded out with a whimper, in my opinion. I liked half of that last episode, and the other half was like, eh. So for this, I'm not that bummed. I think there are better directors out there.
But what about if we lose the Old Republic?
That would piss me off.
That's the biggest thing for me. I'm not really bummed about losing them as producers and writers. I'm more bummed if
I'm with
means
you
we
on that.
lose Old Republic. However, if it does turn out that Feige is overrunning with Kathleen Kennedy and says, let's start this first Old Republic thing together, then let's cut our losses and let's do our thing. But I just think this announcement, this didn't happen like last night.
This has been a long
Because
time
of the
coming.
Netflix timing of things.
They've been out of it. They've been out for a while, and the same thing like Ryan Johnson.
So why do you think this came out last night?
I don't know why it came out last night. Strange. Maybe anytime you release a story like this, it's gonna get covered big.
You know
but
why?
they tried to get buried last night.
It's because of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian's coming out. People, the
Hoping they're gonna talk about
response is
that.
great. People are going to buy that. They're literally they know that the hardcore Star Wars fans like us are going to talk about it, but the general people that we were talking about
Right.
are going to be like, huh? I don't
Whatever.
know.
Yeah.
When's the Mandalorian on? I got to check out this Star Wars-y thing.
Right.
I think that's they're like literally going, just get it out there.
Get it out there.
Forget
Right,
about
right.
it because it needs to die down before Rise of Skywalker comes out in a
It's a
couple
good call.
months.
I think that's a great call.
Legitimate question.
Yeah.
Josh, do you care about this at all?
I think care is the wrong word. I think
Does it affect you at all in your viewing experience?
no.
No.
I like when you guys talk about Old Republic. I would like to see that. It sounds
Yeah,
really
yeah.
interesting to me.
Yeah, I showed you that trailer.
Yeah.
right?
What
It's
about
really
business
cool.
side though?
That's where I think, right, is as someone who knows a lot of people and as someone who has like actually had to deal with studio heads and TV heads when you write a script or when you come up with an idea, when there's too many cooks in the kitchen and the main cook in the kitchen has absolutely no idea what your project is, and it's just like, well, we need more of this.
Right.
I'm like, that's not what the show is. Like, if you ever watch that movie, The TV Set, I think, with David Duchovny and Justine Bateman, or the TV show or something like that. It's an amazing movie. Sigourney Weaver plays the studio head, and the show starts as an hour-long drama, and then it ends as a 30-minute sitcom,
Right.
As
Right.
they're like developing this show. I think Kathleen Kennedy does not really do well with some of these directors that have a vision and her vision isn't that vision, right? And because she's the main producer, there is a bit, I mean, listen, who just passed away? Robert Evans. Very, very famous for It's My Way or the Highway. That is a very old studio model. And the reason that David Benioff and Dan Weiss went to Netflix is because Netflix is notorious for being like, do your
shit.
thing.
Yeah.
Right? And I think HBO, when Casey Bloys stepped in, he was like, do your shit, man. Game of Thrones is crushing it right now. And maybe them doing their own shit and the final season of Game of Thrones really soured some people. And I would have been a little more upset had the news come out yesterday, like, 2 years from now, that Benioff and Weiss had no idea what they were doing with Game of Thrones the first season, because I know they've done movies and stuff before, but when you are handed a franchise like Star Wars and you are handed like an old trilogy or something like that, if they are not the diehard, like you guys, canon fans, read all the books, going kind of thing, and they present a trilogy option and maybe they didn't know what they were doing.
See, but this is I see where you're going with that, but I actually spin it the other way around. I think that when she's pitched things that are too inside baseball and too like, well, what if we didn't hit like Old Republic stuff and then Darth being no one's going to care about that. But it counts for the story. I think she wants to go so commercial and so mainstream. I think that's what some of the problems with the new trilogy has been, is that it lacks some of that stuff, like the core kind of inside stuff that made the original trilogy. So, I mean, the thing about the original trilogy, you don't have to be so locked into the lore, but it created lore just from visuals and just how everything was lived in, everything, and it doesn't. I don't know. There's just something about this regime that doesn't seem as kind of tied in.
My biggest beef or whatever, and I think Twitter's beef and the Freddie Prinze Jr. rant and everything was, which I enjoyed, and I think Star Wars fandom is very, very sensitive. This we know, but when they say the movies are for kids, okay? To a certain extent, yes. But I think
Mandalorian doesn't look like
not.
it for kids.
It's not a movie.
Yeah, true.
There is a kid in all of us, right? That we want that youthful whatever, that what brought us to the theater, that made us love Star Wars in the first place every time we go to see a Star Wars movie. And parents now who grew up with the Star Wars want to take their kids and they want those movies to be the same experience that they had to keep the fandom going, right? And I don't think that Kathleen Kennedy sees it like that.
Maybe.
I think so. I think it's going to your point about
Yeah.
the inside baseball stuff.
Yes.
Is that's the fandom right there. They love that stuff. That you can incorporate that organically into a story.
I think she does care about to try to, because again, as a business, you want to be able to grow your fandom.
But a parent comes in and he goes, and dad's like, or the son's like, Dad, who's Darth Bane? And you're like, listen to this, Darth
she doesn't
Bane
give a
is
shit
this
about
person.
Darth Bane. Yeah, she doesn't probably even know who Darth Bane is.
Let me ask you this, going back to what you said, Christian, about mainstream. She likes mainstream.
Yeah.
What do you think, just so I know what you mean, is the most mainstream Star Wars movie that has ever been?
As much as I like the movie, I'd say The Force Awakens.
Is the most mainstream.
Yeah, and I like the film, but it's safe. It's a very safe film. And it's
So
my
you think mainstream can work,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
it's not necessarily what you as a diehard are looking for.
it's safe and
future.
familiar, and I've seen it all before. But I also put that movie as my number 4 Star Wars movie.
Right.
Let's make that very clear. And you look at a movie, and the thing that you cannot say about Rian Johnson, everybody out there, whether you hate the movie or love the movie, he took a lot of risks, and he did something very. It's a very different Star Wars movie. I feel it doesn't really feel like Star Wars.
Well, clearly, if it was more mainstream, it would be more universally.
You loved,
Yeah.
but I think that there's just things sometimes that she shies away from because she thinks people aren't going to get it, but people will get it if you make it good.
Mm-hmm.
If you like anything, like look at Guardians of the Galaxy is a perfect example. Like when you look
They
at
just
a movie
made a
like that,
ride for it at
that's
Disney.
what you can make things. Game of
great.
Thrones in general is a project that it's like, wait, I just don't think if she was ahead of HBO that show ever goes. Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Amanda.
No way.
She's like,
No way.
I bring it up all the time in the show, and I know it. If like my wife is into something, a 90% of the general movie-going public will be into something, right? Or even TV. She's watched Game of Thrones twice all the way through now. There's something particularly awesome about that show.
Character development.
Character development.
Yeah.
And that's like to shout out Josh Robert Thompson, who did an unbelievable job doing our deepfake George Lucas
He was on Rule of
reacts.
Two yesterday.
It is awesome. Like,
He did his Morgan Freeman for a while. It was fantastic.
So good.
It's so good when he
Oh,
goes
sweet Coppin.
when he goes like you can do it when he's like oh look, there's Rey. Great storyline. I mean, at the end of Empire, Luke didn't even have a hand. Now she's just friends with everybody or something like that.
Yeah.
It's
Oops,
great.
you dropped something.
It's
The plot.
great.
Yeah. But we can go down this rabbit hole for a while, but we actually have to continue down this rabbit hole because there's something now with Ewan McGregor that. So in 2015. Or around, well, there was always reports that Obi-Wan was going to happen, and it was circling around that
From the
Favreau.
Jedi Council live.
I know,
Yeah.
but it's the news.
I mean, it all dumped
Yeah.
last night.
And
all of this.
Favreau was circling around the project, and
sorry, Favreau is circling around.
Obi-Wan.
Oh.
So and Ken and I knew for a while that this movie was going to happen
Because
And we just knew. And then there was a script that was out there. There's no script. There's a script. They were supposed to announce it. They
Yeah.
were gonna. I remember that Kathleen Kennedy said, "Next week we're announcing our brand new spin-off movie," and it never came. And I don't know what the hell happened in between that. But then what happened there was. This is again, I think, of not understanding the difference between a movie like Solo, which was fine. It's fine. I have my issues with it, and when it came out and all that. But the movie is fine. But nobody was really calling for that movie, or Star Wars fans weren't like, we need a Solo movie. People have been saying, show me the fucking Obi-Wan movie. We want to see Obi-Wan. What's he been doing? What's happening with Obi-Wan? And because they got so scared of what happened with Solo at a bomb, that's a studio mentality of, well, that's not going to work then because they don't want to see that. Make it a TV show. I'm happy they made it a TV show. I think it'll be better as a TV show. But it just shows you that they juggling balls and just dropping shit on the floor. They don't know what the fuck is going on over there.
And let me go back to my point about old studio head looks, right? Is clearly with certain things as far as, and you can yell at me all you want, but Kevin Feige had a vision of what the Marvel Cinematic Universe would look like for 10 years, right? He mapped it out. He had what he wanted. I don't think Warner Brothers ever had that, and I don't think that the Star Wars world ever had the vision.
It looks like
of
Warner Brothers has it way more now.
Now,
Yeah,
but like
they
6
righted
years
the
ago,
ship. Yeah.
They righted the ship, and
Yep.
they got rid of people that didn't
Correct.
get it. And that's
Correct.
and so because you look at Warner Brothers now, DC's got their shit together.
Well, you guys
look-
talked about the two universes, or have you not spoken about that yet?
What is that?
That's their plan moving forward. Apparently,
DC.
is
Hold
the
it. Let's
two
finish
universes.
the Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
We'll jump right into that
Yeah.
because this Obi-Wan thing,
So he confirmed there was a
yes.
movie at one point. Yep, duh. And he was at the premiere of Solo. Remember, he was walking in. We're like, ha,
They were-
Obi-Wan's coming
they
next.
were planning on announcing.
So yeah, the Obi-Wan movie was a movie. They made it to a series. Obviously, we know that. Ewan McGregor's excited about that because
Yeah.
we get to spend more time with him and character development. But he then went on Ellen and said, "Yeah, been lying for about 5 years."
Yeah, of course, and because you had and,
he literally used the line.
but Kathleen Kennedy
said
said
that?
it. Oh,
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor.
I have the
Yeah.
videos on the outline if you want to see
They're
it.
starting shooting in January, so they took this script and they just expanded on it. They at one point when they knew that once again, anytime a story is announced, it didn't just happen. Oh, last night. Oh, they had to figure out. Okay, in a couple months. We'll
Yeah.
announce this thing. We'll do it at D23. So at that time we'll be able to spread out. They have at least 4 or 5 episodes already written at this point, and they're going to start shooting in January or February. This is the clip from Ewan McGregor.
And Halloween is a big deal
It's
here.
not Ellen.
You know what you should dress up as?
Yeah, he's
If I
filling
was you,
in
I
for
would
Ellen.
dress up as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, yeah? You think?
I would. Well, because I don't know. Do they know? Like, this was pretty new at Comic-Con. You kept a secret for like 4 years, right?
Yeah.
And now it's coming back. You're going to play it again.
Yeah.
You're going to reprise that.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was
Isn't
difficult.
that amazing?
Thank you.
What a cool dude.
It's awkward because the studios and the franchises, they want to keep everything totally secret, of course, which I understand. But as the person being asked over and over and over again, would you do it again? Would you do it again? And I'm already talking to them about it, but
Right.
I can't say that I am. So
Right.
for 4 years I was saying, well, I'd be happy to do it again if I'm just waiting for the call. But all the while, so this
You
was
were
embarrassing.
acting. You were acting even when you weren't acting.
lying.
What's the difference between lying and acting?
You get paid to act.
Oh, there you go. It's the first time, now it's been 20 years to reprise the role. Do you
That's
know that
amazing.
your hairpiece?
Is it? Yes.
Yes.
That's
I
good.
did
Okay.
some research.
Anyway, so then this is different. People are like, well, how come he's not a liar? Matt Smith is. Both fall in the same thing.
They're doing the same thing.
and that they're both under contract. I just think that it like for Matt Smith, he should have done it, have a different answer as opposed to I'm not in the movie. Him saying, well, I'm waiting for the call. Still a lie. Still a lie. Just a
But he
different
also
lie.
he said he's a liar.
He said he was a liar. He admitted he was a liar.
straight up.
So maybe Matt Smith was I'm a
Not
liar.
happy
also.
about it.
true,
Liar
yeah.
though.
What a great line
Yeah.
too. I get paid to
You
act.
You get paid to act. But either way, so I'm glad this is one of those situations though that I think it worked out for the best. If you ask me a million times over, you get 3 movies in the theater of Obi-Wan, or you get 8 episodes on Disney Plus all day long. I'm taking Plus. Fuck the movies because it's like then they cram them in. I know that people still are thinking about like would rather have movies. You're gonna see from Mandalorian. You're gonna see what Star Wars is capable of now. When you have, I would much prefer them now take this Old Republic thing, put it on TV. If I never see a Star Wars movie again, I know blasphemy. As long as I get TV shows
Yeah,
that
no, I can't go with
fill
you
in,
there. And
I'm
a lot
okay.
of people
play them
are-
in the theater.
And
Play the episodes
fine,
in the
and I'm
theater.
sure a lot of them will.
You know
but
how
I've saw-
cool it would be? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, a lot of people have hit me up during Rule of Two and all of this. Like, are we going to lose Star Wars movies? Like, and it's all going to be on
there's
Disney
no
Plus,
chance.
and there's not.
Money,
No
yeah.
chance.
I'm telling you what, there is no chance. You're right.
Here's kind of a cool thought, though. And we talked about it on Rumor Mill last week about the Lord of the Rings series, right? Which you guys can watch tomorrow live, 2 p.m. PST, Cloud Video, Twitter. Anyway, they want to release some of these Lord of the Rings series in theaters
Right.
the same day or like a week before you release the show on Amazon
Smart.
because you can make money. Same thing I would imagine Mandalorian would want to do if
Yeah.
that was even a thing. But because they want to launch the series with the service
You do it
plus,
first.
you do it first. But going forward, like if you have some kind of a Rey spinoff, or you, depending on where this goes, you have the Obi-Wan. Like we know as TV people, I mean, we're all TV people. Roxy and I have like dedicated a lot of our life in the last
lives.
10 years to television. Is the stories that you can tell via television are so much deeper and richer. Like if you were to make an Ozark movie, it would be nothing compared to what we have in the series.
Yeah,
it would
right.
be decent.
It'd be-
It would just be another cartel movie.
Right. That's right. It would be one big episode. really.
Correct.
But
And you
the-
would never cast Jason Bateman.
No.
No, but
You
here's,
just wouldn't.
No.
here's the difference that we haven't really talked about yet with Star Wars, that with the possibility of what they could do with these shows. We don't know what the next movies are, right? Disney Plus right now is not a proven entity. It looks, I mean, they're putting a lot of money into it, and it looks, and there's more advertising for this thing.
mean, my
I
goodness.
I saw a full bus stop that was designed as Disney Plus just on the way here. But if these shows become popular, if which we think that they will, and they become really popular and get more subscribers in there, then why couldn't they? Let's say the Gina Carano character, just using her as an example.
Ding, hit it. I drafted her in the Star Wars draft
did.
9 years ago.
But let's say that Gina Carano becomes the most popular character in Star Wars that we've seen in a long time.
Okay.
Guess what she's got? A movie now coming out. You can do one spin-off movie now of Gina Carano's character that's going to now that's your next Star Wars movie. And okay, great. Well, we know it. We have the character. People understand it. It transfers over. And you can take now, because TV's so much different now than it was 5-10 years ago.
Look at
You
the
can-
Breaking Bad movie. Look at the Downton Abbey movie. Like they did well.
That's
Yeah,
and so-
Downton Abbey,
Well-
number one at the box
Yeah,
office when it
it
debuted.
was.
Huge difference between those two, though, because Downton Abbey was in theaters and crushed.
No,
That's what she said. That's what he's
what I'm
saying.
saying. That's what I'm getting at.
Breaking Bad you said did well. Did
Oh,
it?
on Netflix, yeah.
No, I mean,
Netflix said it.
Downton Abbey, but
Netflix released this whole. We can get in a conversation
Yeah, but
later.
Netflix eventually is going to own movie theaters. They are. They're eventually going to buy either Regal or one of these cinemas.
They have enough money to do it. But the
Yes.
point is that you'd be able, because the universe and the galaxy is so rich that you can develop shows, and if you guys know how TV works. Like, there's sometimes the characters you didn't even think were going to be popular, that they didn't think was going to be popular, becomes one of the biggest things ever.
Justice for Barb.
And spin them
What?
and if it works, spin it off and make it a movie if you have to. If it works and it calls for it. Or don't do any of it and just have separate movies that come out.
Dude,
I agree with what you're saying.
Community's slogan, the entire series was 6 seasons in a movie. Was their legitimate hashtag.
Yeah.
Every time a new season got renewed, every single character said 6 seasons in a movie, right? Because that was their ultimate goal for Community. 6 seasons in a movie, 6 seasons in a movie. Unfortunately, nobody understood how to work with Dan Harmon at a network, and they took away the chance of keeping that die-hard Community audience in place for 6 seasons in a movie.
Well,
But that's what you're looking at now with these Disney Plus things and all this stuff.
I am
Do you guys
hoping,
have it yet?
What, Disney Plus?
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I'm going to wait till like day of. and just buy it.
Yeah, I
Do you
tried to
have it yet?
actually download
You?
it, but it's not there.
No.
I'm just wait there.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting because they probably can't gauge at all.
At
how
all.
mu-
Because
way
day
you-
of
you
is
can
going to be
sign
when
up.
everybody's. I'm just going to Roku and then just get it on.
Also, the way you just said that, it was kind of like, do you guys have it yet? Like,
Like
you already had it.
Like you had it like years
no,
later.
no, for sure I
No,
don't.
I'll be because talk about the younger generation. So my daughter finally yesterday finished Last Jedi, right? And then I was like, well, I want to watch the trailers because I have my whole setup now. So I turned the lights off and I wanted to watch the Mandalorian trailer because I told her that I'd let her watch the series with me. You know, even though it's a little darker, but whatever. So she watched and she was all on board for it. And then she watched Rise of Skywalker though, and just to say that there is a definite audience for the movie. She cannot wait to see that movie. It's going to be her first Star Wars movie she sees in the theater. Yeah. So
Rise of Skywalker. She's
Rise of
more excited for
Skywalker.
that than Mandalorian.
I think so because she's pretty attached to the characters now. She's attached to. I mean, she just finished Last Jedi.
Did she like
so-
it?
She did, yeah. And at first it was funny because she was bored with it. She was the first half of the movie she was really bored with, and then once the ending. And the funny thing, my kid reads more than anybody in this room. Like she just
Shock her.
It's not challenging.
Not challenging, but she reads a lot and like everything. And so I'm watching. I'm waiting to see how she's going to handle the Luke thing. And she goes, "Nah, he's meditating." And I'm like, "How do you know that?" She said, "I read a book about it."
Oh.
And I'm like, "Oh." She's like, "Yeah, he's going to die. He's going to be one with the Force." And that didn't even happen yet. And
So she got spoiled.
She got spoiled reading the book. She read this whole thing. I don't remember where she got it. I don't know what she got. She got a hold of something. She was because they send me because I get sent all these.
She
Compare it
said
to, like,
he's gonna be one with the Force.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. Like,
You must have cried as
I
a
was-
dad.
everything
Your
she was
little,
saying.
Your little
Yeah.
girl. He's gonna be one with the Force.
Well, I
You
told
must have lost.
Yeah, well,
it.
yesterday I
Yes,
told
he
these guys.
is,
I told
honey.
these guys yesterday that she was. When I was telling her as a teenager that I said you're not going to want to hang out with mom and dad, and you're not going to watch Star Wars. She's like, what? Like, that's never going to happen. She's like, I'm always going to watch. Star Wars.
Record her saying that.
I know.
Play it
she's-
back.
and play it back. Let's take a break because we've been
That's
going for a
so
while.
Yeah.
cute.
Let's go for a break. Cody,
love
you ready
that.
for a break? Okay, good. All right, we're going to go to break. When we get back, we will talk about the Mandalorian trailer. I know it's full Star Wars, but a lot of Star Wars news, everybody. All right.
Hey guys, it's Perry here to let you know that Movie Talk is moving. We've had a great time in this 3 p.m. Pacific slot, but guess what? We want you to start your day with Collider Movie Talk, so we're moving. 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to get a longer show with some brand new segments, so tune in starting Monday, September 16th, 9 a.m. Pacific. See you there.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Sports Time. Well, if you've been watching us every week, we break down the latest and the greatest in the world of sports, talk about the big issues, the big games, all of it with a rotating band of guests like Matt Nose and Josh McCouga. We've had Taylor Bisciotti on. We've had so many great guests. Now, if you want to see more of Sports Time or you want to try it out for the first time, remember to subscribe to Collider Sports YouTube channel
Make it
for
big,
all the
and then we'll
sports
watch it.
goodness.
Hey guys, it's Riley here. Let me tell you about the Riley Roundtable. You know it, right? It drops every Thursday on Collider Conversations, and I have guests from all across the space. John Roca, Gray Drake, Alexander Desplat came on at one point. We talk everything from movies, we talk about life, and everything in between. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? It's the Riley Roundtable every Thursday on Collider Conversations. You get it there.
Jesus. Hi, I'm Coy Jandro, host of Collider Heroes, and I'm here to tell you we've got 20-minute episodes coming at you on Collider Video on the YouTube as you've always loved it. Plus, now we've got hour-long podcasts dropping every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast because it's going to get even more sweaty on the podcast. Plus, every week, we're going to try to get some very special guest interviews, all of the people that help shape these movies and TV shows you love. So, video, podcast, interviews, all coming at you. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Stay sweaty.
Wow. Well, hello there. I'm Ken Knapsack, one of the hosts of Collider Jedi Council, and I'd like to invite you to listen to our show, watch our show. It's on every Thursdays on the Collider Video channel, and it's also available in podcast form if you'd like to listen to our sweet voices on Collider Jedi Council, me, Christian Harloff, and a bevy. Talk Star Wars. We celebrate Star Wars. We dig into the Star Wars news. We speculate everything about Star Wars, including your questions. So join us on Collider Jedi Council. You're going to have a great time.
What's up, Collider fans? Ryan Satin here from ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find the top stories throughout the week in the world of professional wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan like myself, then you'll be doing yourself a disservice by not checking out all the shows we do every week on YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. In particular, on Wednesdays, we've got a SmackDown recap show hosted by John Roca and myself, where we pick apart and talk about every little thing that happened on the Blue Brand. So do yourself a favor and go subscribe at youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet.
Hey guys, Riley here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on Podcast One's Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Mailbag. New episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well, every Saturday and Sunday.
Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm Christian Harloff. I'm the host of Collider Jedi Council. We talk about everything Star Wars. It's movie news, it's canon, it's all of it. We take questions from you guys. How do you do it? Main channel, that's right here. Subscribe to this channel. But if you want to just listen to it, you got the podcast feed too. Apple Podcasts, you can listen to it in your car. Do all of it. It's Star Wars. Episode 9's coming out, and then after Episode 9, you got TV shows, so we're going to be your sports center for Star Wars. Do it. Come on, be real.
Hi, I'm Amy Dallin, one of the hosts of Collider Heroes, and starting right now, you can catch our show Tuesday nights with a new Collider Heroes and a longer Collider Heroes podcast, where Coy and I are gonna talk your ears off. You already know that's coming. So make sure to go to YouTube, subscribe, and find us on the Collider Heroes podcast feed for all of that sweaty goodness.
The Witching Hour is all over Collider right now. You can listen to that horror-filled podcast with myself, with Haley Fouch. We talk about witchiness, we talk about slashers, we talk about space horror, you name it, all on that show on the Collider Factory feed. And on top of that, you can find an article all about Witching Hour every single Tuesday on Collider.com. Check it out, get scared. Hopefully you survive the Witching Hour.
Spooky, spooky, very spooky. Oh no, it's a monster.
What is this song?
Spooky, very spooky. What's that? It's a witch. Spooky, spooky, very spooky. Watch out, it's a vampire. Spooky, spooky, very spooky. What's that? It's a ghost. Spooky things doing spooky dance.
This is great.
Spooky things doing spooky dance.
What? Who is this?
Shh.
Ah, woo, woo, woo. What kind of spooky spooky thing are you? Woo, woo, woo. What kind of spooky thing are you?
This is a song that my kids listen to every day.
Do they
It
really?
will not get out of my head, and now it's in your head.
I thought that was a no rhyme, no reason.
I thought it was one of our guys doing something about my grandmother's house.
Cody, how many views does that have? Let's take a guess. How many views do you think it has?
Is it a video?
Yeah, it's a video on YouTube.
Like it's a music video?
Yeah, well, it's like animation and stuff.
Okay. 25 million.
Whoa. What do you say?
10 million.
12.
All right, let's see.
It's 38 million.
Wow,
Roxy.
Yeah. 38 million.
If your kids listen to it, that probably means that all the people's kids listen to it. Yeah.
So my oldest actually listened to it when she was younger than my youngest right now, and my wife the other day goes, we got to play Spooky.
It's been that long?
Yeah.
When did this song originate?
Oh, I don't remember. What does it say?
The video here is from October 2012.
2012, so right around that time. So it's shit. My daughter caught it when it was hot.
Hot.
Yeah, now it's a classic.
It's like she got the Kanye West album this weekend.
Yeah, now it's a classic.
What are you doing for Halloween with them? Are you walking them
Parties.
around?
Yeah, well, our new neighborhood is like Halloween central.
What time is Halloween walking time?
Well, I gotta figure that out. I think around 4 because what happened?
Really?
No, just a picture.
Because
4 is wildly early.
Yeah, because did you get?
You're supposed to trick or treat before sun goes down.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Says who?
Well,
it says the law.
Yeah.
Really?
Leading into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
But,
law?
I was going to ask you about Jedi Council stuff. We can talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get into the main topic here because last night the Mandalorian trailer did drop, and what I was talking about with my daughter, by the way, the Mandalorian trailer I showed her first was not the main one. It was the one we saw last night. It was the one that dropped like a couple weeks ago. Then this came out last night. It's getting more and more into. See, are you coming around now, fucker?
What do you mean coming around? I'm in. I know it took me
in.
a while.
I
wasn't in. The very first trailer, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
The second trailer, that's when I was in.
Okay.
Like the second trailer,
You're ready to go.
I was wait a minute, this is great. And this one even more.
I love
wasn't
that.
the first trailer not a trailer for you guys? Didn't you see footage?
Well, yeah, they showed they showed a trailer, but then they showed a scene, and they showed a couple other things.
I'm a little bit with Ken on that. It felt that there was a character that came in, where I was like. But now I'm like, you know what?
But that
I'm
same
okay.
character is the entire voiceover of...
You can't tell us?
No, not that character.
Oh, Ken had a problem with Werner Herzog.
See, I've never really had... I mean, it was... No, I've never had a
It was
problem
very
with Werner.
feeling in the truck
doing
things.
I love
Wait, sorry. Can you not tell us who the character was that you had a
I don't want
problem
to
with?
spoil... I mean, I don't know. It's not been in any of the trailers. It was a part of the scene that was shown. Do you remember? There's like the weird. I say I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. It was John Cena.
No, but
it was John Cena.
Anyway, this trailer though, it's really sizing up to be everything I wanted it to be.
Yeah,
The other thing is, when you freeze frame, there is a battle droid in one of the from the Clone Wars.
The fact that you caught that is insanity.
I didn't catch it. Someone had. I saw a screenshot of it, and then when I saw the screenshot, I said. Oh, that's got to be a flashback because they're probably something now. This is why.
Can you explain?
Yeah, so there's a battle
Thank you,
from the Clone Wars. There's a if we can find the actual shot itself, we can bring that up. But it's just can you look for it and tell Cody where to pause on it?
I can send it.
So in the Clone Wars, they had like and it's in Attack of the Clones too, where the big droids, one of the ones that fought for the what's it called? Count Dooku's
General
Separatist.
Separatist. Thank you. So it's in the trailer here. You see it briefly. One of the droids in the back, and I think it's a flashback. There's parents holding a kid and they're running, and I think that's probably the Mandalorian himself, like during the Clone War period. But it means you might see the Clone Wars in this live action show, which just furthers so much more of what we were just talking about. Like all this cool Star Wars lore could pop up that you couldn't mesh into. This is an 8-hour movie.
So you would want to see live action Clone Wars?
Yeah, I mean we saw a little bit of it in Attack of the Clones. So
Cody, I put it in the. There's a picture that I found online.
He's got it. He's got it up here. Where's the? Okay, where that?
Remember when Natalie Portman jumps out of that thing and she rolls around in the sand?
Yeah, I remember.
I like that part.
Yeah. So here you go. So the Mandalorian trailer 2 reveals a classic enemy from the prequels. So there's the actual. There it is, right there. So Yep. And that's that bottom picture's from Attack of the Clones, and then
what are we pointing at?
That.
The picture on the screen.
No, the red thing in the corner. What is that?
The droid.
The lit up red part?
It's a gun. This is gun.
That's a gun. But do you see the actual robot right there?
Yeah, I see the droid. I just don't know why the other part
It's
is
got like
lit
a
up.
shoulder cannon.
Yeah.
That it shoots from here.
Got it.
But either way, so those people there, it seems like that might be on Mandalore, right? And
Do they always dress in red? The Mandalores?
No.
And you think the one that they're holding
Is our lead character? I think it's possible. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think it's possible, and it would be great if you could flash back and see, like, because if you go back, he's probably around 35, 40, the character, and you go back, that's accurate time. So how cool would that be? That's why I think you're going to see so much stuff. And they already said there's a big spoiler or something that happens at the end of the first episode.
Great.
That's going to be Boba Fett.
There's a spoiler?
You think so?
I think it's going to be Boba Fett. What?
There's a spoiler.
It's
that
a
happens?
reveal for the Star Wars universe that is like hasn't been answered before. So
Yeah,
they're
I mean,
calling
that's
it a
what I'm
spoiler.
saying. It's
So
never been
what would
answered
that
before.
mean if Boba Fett shows up?
Then he's
didn't
alive.
die in the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, we didn't. Everyone thinks that he's
I
survived.
learned that.
Well, what would that mean for the future of Star Wars?
It just means you could use him again. You could probably use him in this series.
Do you know how I learned it was a Sarlacc pit when I came on Jedi Council a few weeks ago?
Look at you.
Yeah, boom.
Great questions, by the way. That was a lot of fun.
Thanks.
Yeah, should have done that again. You only have one more shot to do it, though, buddy. With me, anyway. So
Are you gonna wear that shirt still?
this one, yeah, why not?
Diapers and bottles and Jedi Council.
I'm proud of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love it.
it's funny. It's like I get traded, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm never talking about that team anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to go to that is Bryce
Interesting
Harper.
analogy.
Like they keep going. Like Bryce, how you feeling about the Nationals run of the World Series? Like happy for the team, proud of the guys. He's like, what is he gonna say? He's like, I wish I wouldn't have been traded to Philadelphia for $350 million.
Right. Well, I definitely get traded for $350. I'll tell you that much. maybe $3.50.
That's not how much SEN's paying you.
No, yeah, right. Not yet.
Bummer, man.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for the plug. Anyway.
I got you.
Why am I looking at this like something's going to pop up on the fucking page?
I don't know, but this was the nicest you've treated the rundown physically.
Yeah, well, it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
What?
Taking care of it.
That's right.
Folded it
What did
nice.
you think of the overall trailer? Did you like it?
Yeah, I really liked it. I've been in on this from day one,
Right.
though. I think that it's interesting because I would refer to myself as a total casual fan, even though I really love Star Wars. But I guess I'm more than a casual fan because I probably
Hang out with us nerds.
Yeah, so I know more than just like a Joe
Right.
Schmo, not a Schmoes know person
Right.
would know. Wow, that
Wow.
was the most confusing way
That
that I
was
could
good.
have
No, that was good.
possibly phrased
I see what you're
it.
saying,
that.
but you're getting there.
So when I watch this, I'm like, I feel like I grasp 70% of it.
Okay.
And 30% of the trailer, I'm like, I don't have any idea what's happening.
But
here.
you want to.
Yeah,
This is
but
a good thing.
but I totally want it.
And how do you? So this is the question for you. What did you think of the overall trailer?
So I'm sort of with Roxy and a little bit of Riley. Like with the first trailer I saw, I was like, all right, there was like a lot of Star Wars stuff in it. And then this,
Good analysis,
you know,
good
like and then the
analysis.
next one, I was like, all
Star
right, so
Wars.
this seems like a really cool, like actiony, like hunt adventure kind of thing. I wasn't too psyched about the guy that he fights with like the reptile head. It looked too
man.
much like Lost
Boss.
in Space.
Big Boss. Yeah.
I don't know who that is. I watched Bosch on Amazon. It's a great show.
Oh, I watched Botched about the face.
Oh, yeah, I'd
plastic
seen that
surgery,
too.
yeah.
Mixture of both.
Yeah, I watched that too.
So I thought it was cool, and then you got the weapons. Then you got Werner Herzog coming in and doing like his very, I am Werner Herzog doing my mustache.
Wasn't you agree?
Yeah, wasn't you agree? So I think it's cool-ish. I still don't know what the show is particularly about.
Well, I like the
like, what is my
VO.
plot? Like Narcos, I get it. You're tracking down Pablo Escobar.
I like the VO in this trailer because I felt like it did explain to us, you know,
bounty hunting.
sorry, but bounty hunting isn't always super clear cut.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we've messed up before, probably will again, but like we're after something.
Well, that's the whole thing. Is
Yeah,
that
that's
that Werner Herzog's character, you know, is an old empire. He's an old empire soldier, and they're trying to hold on as the last of the regime, kind of sitting around. And we shouldn't just assume, the audience shouldn't assume that the Mandalorian is a good guy, right? He does these missions. I think he'll eventually he'll be one. But he goes on all these missions, and it's like, well, here's this mission. It pays a lot, but you're going to be working for old empire.
So you think that the season 1 is all different people that there's bounty on that he's hunting?
No.
Or you
Like
think it's a
anthology?
main?
No.
I wonder what the through line is.
Yeah.
Is that where you're getting to?
I think it's
Yeah.
more about the Empire trying to get back, because a lot of the Empire has gone off into the unknown regions and have taken off, and a lot of them are on the ground. You look at what's Esposito, not Esposito.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Giancarlo Esposito. He's going to be like the main bad. He's the main. Herzog's going to be in the show for maybe an
Breaking
episode
Bad.
or two. Yeah, but we just have. But he's going to be in it for the most part. It's going to be Esposito. is going to be the main bad.
Yeah, I would think. I mean, from the trailer, because you see way more of Werner Herzog than you do Giancarlo Esposito, they probably are saving a ton of his stuff for it. And I would imagine in the trailer, right? It's what they did with Watchmen. It's what they do with most TV series. Is they show a couple scenes from future episodes, but most of the stuff you see in the trailer is going to be from the pilot.
Yeah, it looked like it. Yeah.
I will say, like, we were watching it during Monday Night Football, and I think Amanda just tolerates my football fandom. And then the Mandalorian trailer came on, and I was like, oh, this is this new. I wonder if this is the new trailer, because I didn't know there was a new trailer coming out. And man, I was like, what is that? I was like, it's a Star Wars series, and I was like, watch the trailer and let me know what you think. And it was over, so you're like, oh,
right.
So
I super duper don't love this Monday Night Football trailer thing.
Why?
Because I'm never watching where I can hear. Every time I'm watching, I'm somewhere.
I can't watch football, especially my Steelers, where there's other people.
Yeah, so I'm typically with other people, and I have to go to the bathroom and pull it up on YouTube on my phone when it drops, which is
Gross.
annoying.
Especially bar bathrooms.
It's just like annoying. Or even if I'm at a friend's house, nobody else cares about these things, so they're all shouting through it, and I'm like, shh,
right.
shh. And they're like, you came over to watch football.
It was like that one time we watched the Super Bowl, remember? And like there was a bunch of trailers that were dropping during the Super Bowl, and it was like early schmoes days. And every time a trailer dropped, you and Mark would have to run into the other room.
Yeah,
we did
that's
it
like
3 or
me
4 years.
every time because I don't get football to my TV.
Yeah, but if it's prime time, you would get it.
Well, the Amanda situation here
right.
is that this is, if you go back in time, let's say in 2009.
I was in high school.
Fine. 2009, 2010.
Just wanted to be clear about how young I am.
And if Amanda and you were watching football and a Game of Thrones trailer popped up, most likely she'd be like, what's this?
Yeah.
It's the job of the television show and the job of the hardcore viewer that says, holy shit, this show's good, to spread the word and to make you excited. Because if you watch that first episode of Mandalorian and then you start to go, okay, I wasn't really a Star Wars fan, but now they hook you in and you become a Star Wars fan.
The only difference is by the time that Game of Thrones came out,
the books?
No.
Oh.
But that as well, she probably already had HBO.
Sure.
So this is now not just saying, oh, you should watch this.
You should also get this
you
service.
buy it.
Right. But that's also why they're leading with this cheap price.
But
Totally.
also,
But
too.
it's a different ask, but yeah.
Absolutely.
But also, too, is, and I hope I don't get a ton of hate for this, I would say that a majority of the Star Wars fandom trends male. Correct?
I think I think that's changed significantly over the last 5 to 10 years.
I think if by majority you mean 51-49, like even that amount, I do think it is majority.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. But it's not like
I don't know what the exact percentage is, but yeah.
Just follow me where I'm going on this. Just follow me where I'm going on this one. It trends a little more heavy male. I mean, let's be honest. A lot of the Star Wars Celebration is a majority male. Amanda's friends, who are female, were loving and watching Game of Thrones. I could have told her 30 times, you should watch Game of Thrones. All of her friends were watching Game of Thrones, so she jumped on. Her sister was like, you need to watch Downton Abbey. I could have said, babe, let's watch Downton Abbey. She would have fallen asleep. She needs a female influence, and I think there are a lot of women out there like that are like, oh, my friends are all watching this. I should watch this. Not her husband, who has watched every Star Wars film.
I agree with you. But the other side of that is that one of the reasons that Game of Thrones women responded to it, Daenerys, Cersei, they had strong female characters. Arya. Well, here comes Gina Carano, who's going to have a big part, right? There are there are a few different women that they're looking at. Bryce Dallas Howard is directing it, right? Mm-hmm. So once they
You all laughed at me. You all laughed at me, and now look, Gina Carano is going to be the biggest thing in the Star Wars universe.
But if they had,
you all laughed at me.
I don't think her acting ability is going to get better, but I think her action's going to get better.
I am interested to see her work in this.
Me too.
I'm interested to see it.
But
she obviously kicks butt, so that's great.
The other thing that TV is able to do that is harder to do in movies is to just keep introducing new characters. Because in movies, it's like, okay, you can do it, but once you, like, look at Snoke, right? He's introduced for 1 or 2, now you crap him out, and he's done in 2, and now you got to bring back the Emperor because, okay, well, I know that villain already. And Dooku was also done poorly.
Yeah.
It's like, in the first one, it's Maul, you kill him, or cut him in half. And then Dooku, and then he's dead in the beginning of the Sith. And it's like you didn't have that
and then Grievous walks in,
right?
Like,
And you didn't have enough of the development.
The original trilogy was 3 long TV episodes to make a 6-hour awesome TV series.
Right.
The prequels and the postquels are are
New trilogy.
whatever.
Sequels?
The sequels. Thank you. I'm an idiot.
Sequel trilogy.
I liked
Sequel
post-quills
trilogy.
better.
Post-quills.
Post-quills.
Thank you. Prequels. The prequels, like you said, are 3 standalone movies with like the only through line being Anakin Skywalker.
Kind of, yeah. And there's no real protagonist in that
In the first
entire
one.
prequel. Yeah,
Well, the antagonist is sand. So.
yeah, the antagonist for one of those movies. Yeah.
And in this one, 2 very different movies that were very standalone. Everybody, for like legitimately that entire 2 years between Force Awakens and Last Jedi was like, who's Snoke? Who's Snoke? Snoke's going to be Jerry's
And who are Rey's
guilty.
parents?
Yeah,
Who are Rey's
everybody.
parents?
But this is
and
why.
then Snoke was just a dude with a scar.
Why is
but
that
yeah.
what your trolley kind of person
I
sounds
don't know.
like?
But this is why Mandalorian. When we know. Is Esposito the villain? If he is, we set him up quick, and then by the end of the first season, if they kill him off, okay, who's the new villain of season 2? Like I'm kind of down for. And we know that we're following the Mandalorian, and he's going to meet new characters, and there's going to be new people that we love. It's just
Easter eggs.
It reminds me of Knights of the Republic. It reminds me of the fact that I was so engaged because I was so many hours just put into it that I kept watching the galaxy get bigger.
Yeah.
So
Do you think?
Go ahead.
Do you think now that we have like remnants of the Empire, and it's tying now Rise of Skywalker with, we might see some of those remnants in the unknown region and all that. You think there's any kind of stuff that will lead into Rise of Skywalker from Mandalorian? That we might
What
get
is
some
the
kind
year
of
gap?
hint.
Isn't it a huge
It's like
gap?
5 years
5
after
years
Return
after
of the
Return of the
Jedi.
Jedi. So probably like what's it? 25? It's 30 years. No, is it 30 years?
I think
in
it's
between?
30 years.
So it's 25 years before.
So what could they do in Mandalorian that would lead into Rise of Skywalker?
That's what I'm wondering, because in the game Battlefront 2, there's
Resistance.
The Emperor has that contingency plan, right? And he's in the robot kind of thing, and he
The start of the
gets a
Resistance
message.
could start to happen. There could be.
So you don't mean actual like a
Plot
through
points?
from A to B. You
No.
mean A to Z and like fill it in.
Just things
like a
that happen.
setup.
Yeah, just things that had happened in Mandalorian. And then you go, oh, look at that. Because I also don't think there's enough time from when they were shooting to when Mandalorian was shooting. They could say,
Do you
oh,
think
hey,
they're even aware? Do you
Yeah,
think the
I
people
do.
who shot Mandalorian even know have seen the script for Rise of Skywalker?
Yes.
By the time they started shooting,
Dave Filoni definitely saw
by
it.
the
Now,
time they
opposite-
started Mandalorian,
Yes,
you
now-
think that they had already seen Rise of Skywalker?
Or if they were
seen
like
it, I don't
rewriting
know,
it.
but seen
The script and knew,
like,
okay.
yeah. But now, flip side of that is how much does JJ, if any, know anything about Mandalorian? But I think that him and Favreau are in some kind of talks because it does look like the ghost pops up into that one scene.
They're in cahoots.
So I don't know.
in Rise of Skywalker. Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen an interview with Giancarlo Esposito?
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's amazing, right? And so I'm going to pull like a total Hollywood
I met him once
thing.
at Comic-Con. He was incredible.
Yeah. So I got to interview him. I think for that show, was it Under the Dome he was in?
It was an excellent show.
Was he in that show?
He's in Revolution.
Maybe.
Revolution.
Oh, I was gonna
That's
say,
what
I don't
it was.
remember
Thank
him.
you.
It's Revolution.
And I said to him, one of my interview questions is like, do you feel like you have to be very, very nice in all interviews because you played the greatest villain in the history of TV? And he goes, absolutely.
That's great.
It's great.
All right, let's move on. I know we've been the Star Wars news is everywhere, but trust me, Ken and I will be talking about this on my last Jedi Council
You got
this
a big
Thursday.
last one there. And that's so many good stories for you to go out on. I
Yeah.
guess.
What else? What else do we have going on today?
Let me see. So, a Marvel producer says if we want to switch over to the MCU, that the next big Endgame level event could be like years out.
Like 10 years out.
10 years out.
That's what we said yesterday. It makes sense. That's what you want because you want them to set it up. I don't want them to rush another type
Your
of Endgame
franchise
movie 'cause you're not
quarterback
there.
just retired.
Yeah.
You've got to start again.
Yeah.
I think they're going to set up Fantastic Four in the next 4 years, and the big bad will be Galactus.
Now, I think we
the
can
end.
all agree that we want the next 10 Marvel movies to be good, but when Tom Brady retires, we have the next 30 years of the Patriots are terrible, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks.
I mean, are you serious with we can all agree?
Oh, wait,
Is that
you're
a
there.
real we can all agree?
Oh, sorry about that.
You want to know what's so crazy thing about life, though, and timing and stuff?
So the Giants won twice.
Know that by the time there is this decade away thing, like you guys are gonna have kids
Yeah.
that
I have
are
kids.
gonna be.
have two.
That's why I'm pointing this way. Just pointing this way.
Dude,
Pointing over there. Like that's wild. Like
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
movie's like.
In 10 years, what if you do too?
Oh my god.
You
Yeah.
could,
Yeah,
you could have kids.
too.
You would have lost them twice by now.
Had kids, lost them, found them, lost them again.
I did. I by the way, and I was in this. It is relevant to this conversation. My wife and I quit on The Affair, the show on the Showtime show.
Good for you.
But then we went back because my dad said, "Nah, it's
Crap.
good. Gets good after 5 episodes." I'm like, "All right, fine.
That's
I'll
what
watch
we're
it."
trying to do with Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Tell all the
Oh,
people.
farts.
Is it getting bad again?
This season has been woof.
I don't
like
think
the
it's.
show.
I don't think it's wolf. It's just not as.
It's
okay,
not.
well,
Yeah, it's,
okay.
I haven't watched last week's, this past week, whatever the case may be. I'm just so on board with Watchmen. I'm like, I don't care what anything else is.
Watchmen episode 2 is great.
Watched 6 minutes Dolomite last night.
Okay.
Had me for 6 minutes.
See?
Yeah.
What ended up happening with
So
the
far.
affair?
So the affair, there was just this scene that the problem I have with this show. The first, if you have never watched the affair, the first season is incredible because it really focuses on Noah Soloway and I forget what Ruth's name is in it, but anyway, the whole entire you've seen it. You've seen
It's
the
about
show?
a boy and a girl that have an affair. I'm assuming.
And you've never seen it. Oh, okay, yeah.
It's,
So
written and shot very much like you would imagine a good Great Gatsby movie being
It is.
shot.
So he's married.
What
he's
year
a
does it take place?
No, but I'm just saying, like,
but he's married. He's
Long Island,
He's kind of
yeah.
unhappy. He's a struggling writer, and his wife comes from money, and they go and they stay in it's like Montauk, I think, whatever, right? And they go and they stay there. And while he's there, he has this affair with this waitress, and he falls in love with her. And then shit goes down, like just shit goes down, and it just transfers over. And those were the main characters. This season, 5 seasons in, whatever it is, they're focusing on next door neighbors for a half an hour, and I'm like, who the fuck is this person? I was like, where is Pacey?
It's very Walking Dead-ish when they started doing those standalone episodes of just Daryl and the blonde girl walking through a golf pro shop.
But at least it's
You know
Daryl.
what? I have a feeling you are not gonna like this episode.
But at least it's
Yikes.
Daryl. This is like
Yeah.
they focus on, and then Jennifer Jason Leigh shows up for a second, and I'm like, it's a half an hour of just. I'm like, get me in fucking Noah.
I'd like to cover my bases here. When you said with affair with a waitress, like been there. I mean, like every summer I lived at the Jersey Shore, I had an affair with a waitress. Not married. I'm not. I'm not
I
married.
knew you were. I just
you had
wanted
a
to.
fling with a waitress,
Fling,
not an
correct.
affair.
Well, I was like
you
sort
just
of
had an affair again.
She had an affair with you.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on.
Do you guys want to know about Knives Out or not?
Yes. Tell us. Are you allowed to review it?
Well, it was a festival movie,
All right,
so
review
I
it.
have to assume-
Roxy's,
I have to assume-
Roxy's review of Knives Out
So-
and Act.
So this is a Ryan Johnson movie.
Ginzu.
He wrote and directed it.
Yeah.
And
Stay on target.
I think it's going to be much less controversial than previous films of his. It's excellent.
Good.
It's really great.
Who's the star of this one?
There's so many stars.
Chris Evans was the standout.
Chris
is it?
Evans
Jamie Lee
is great.
Curtis.
Christopher Plummer is in it.
Christopher-
Don
yeah.
Johnson. The girl from 13 Reasons Why, the lead girl from that, if you watched it all, whatever.
Shawnee Patz.
It's
Sure.
so
What
good.
is it about?
It's a whodunit.
Oh.
It's a
Like Clue.
but not scary. You
Okay.
could still love this.
Okay.
It's a whodunit. You're guessing all the way till the
Clever.
very end. It's really clever. You like the characters. You're interested in the plot.
Any standout?
Chris Evans to me,
Yeah.
he was excellent. It's really funny.
Mhm.
And you know that very early on, which is great because
Well, the trailer shows it.
yeah, and I love when they set the tone super early in the movie. You know exactly what you're going to be watching.
When did you see it?
I saw it last night.
Where?
I saw it at Century City.
Was it? It was a screening last night.
Yes, but you know what? It was a SAG screening, I guess.
Oh. well, it's still what the fuck.
And so it was, but it was awesome. The audience was eating it up. Everybody was trying to guess. At one point, Ben Bateman turned to me and said, "Who do you think it is?" And I guessed one person. 20 minutes later, I guessed another person. I just thought that they could
So you
could
didn't
not
see it
have
coming?
been. No, and even by the time I did see it coming, I was like, but that can't be. No way. But then they bring it all back together and you're like, aha.
So it makes sense. That's great.
Yeah, and it makes great
Love it.
sense. I didn't see Murder on the Orient Express,
I love that movie.
but I'm hearing that this is a better version of
Good.
just what people wanted. The actual location, the house that they shoot in, is super creepy and weird, and there's all different
Like Magic Castle weird?
yeah, exactly. It's cool looking, but and they dealt with the cast being so large brilliantly. We spend the perfect amount of time with every person. We really
Unlike
feel
The Affair.
we learn their relationships just enough. Like we don't have to deep dive into who they were when they were children. It's just like, who are you? Give it to me straight.
Children.
Who are you?
Who are you, children?
It's excellent. It's
Awesome.
really good. I think you guys are all gonna like it a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. There's the
Super
review
well
of
done.
Knives Out.
Have you seen Dolomite Is My Name yet?
No, I have not. Should I?
Oh yeah, everyone's talking about how much I
Roxy.
love. Oh, so
Top 3 movies of the year for me.
When you hear the
Really?
It goes Jojo Rabbit,
Peanut Butter Falcon, Dolomite.
You want to hear the bummer? So I
Good
text-
Boys is
I
next.
can't
So
say that
I-
word. Dolomite. Dolomite.
Dolomite.
Dolomite.
Dolomite.
No, just say Dolomite.
Dolomite.
Yep, got it.
Dolomite.
Texted with Craig Brewer last night.
time
He
is
was,
it?
and I said, and I told Riley, oh, he's going to come on the show. He's going to be on Thursday. He said he's going to find some time because he's shooting Coming to America. Right?
Okay.
And then he's like, oh yeah, I can do it on Wednesday.
Wednesday, tomorrow.
It's like awesome. And then I gave him the address, and he goes, oh. I thought you meant phone. I'm in Atlanta.
Oh,
so,
got it.
shit,
Got
so,
it.
Like I said,
he
can call in.
Yeah, it's tougher to do it. He's a guy you want to sit. He's like a film buff. You want to sit down with that guy and have a conversation with him. He's the best.
But
I
you'll
am
love
so
it.
excited
You'll love
for
it.
coming to
Dolomite.
America too now because Dolomite.
Yeah. I can tell you
Like,
already.
I watched Hustle and Flow. I
Wait,
get
it's so
the opening
interesting hearing
scene.
you guys talk about this because I don't have a friend that's talking about this.
What, Dolomite is my name?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I
good.
saw.
I was at a wedding though.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Well, so
With a bunch of white.
6 minutes into this
very true.
movie
It's one
and
person who
watching
wasn't
Eddie
white.
Murphy just talk to Snoop Dogg, I'm like, oh, that's old Eddie Murphy. He's
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Because you could tell just the way he's delivering. Like, now, he doesn't
How's
sound
Snoop?
like Rudy Ray Moore. He's fine.
Yeah,
he
he
doesn't
doesn't.
sound like Rudy Ray Moore at all, but I
Is Snoop?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, is his actual character?
Oh no!
No.
So Dolomite was a character. It was Rudy Ray
based on
Moore
a true
was in the '70s. It was a black exploitation film that blew up, and he
Dolomite.
It's like he's a struggling artist that he's trying to get some shit go down. So
I didn't love the trailers for this.
It's so far I dig it, but I watched 6 minutes.
Did you tear up at all?
Yeah.
Great.
Of course I did.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch it now.
It's a wonderful movie.
Wow, that's so
It is.
great.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the Paul Rudd show either, and people are
doesn't like
seeming
it.
to like it a lot. Really?
I am 2 episodes in.
Wow, I'm hearing good things.
So what's he live with a clone or something?
He gets cloned.
Oh, that's it.
That's all. That's where I am right now.
Is it better or worse than Gemini Man?
I didn't see Gemini Man.
It's better. I've never seen the Paul Rudd show. It's better.
I need to it's only 30 minutes an episode, I think. I'm 2 episodes in, and there's other shows that keep coming out that I want to watch more, which is telling of how much I'm not really loving this show. Obviously, Paul Rudd is great in it, but I think that, like we were talking about, there's some things that are way better as a TV series. I think this could have been a very funny movie because I think a lot of these things are like getting drug out.
Yeah, and that's the reverse effect of it for sure.
reverse.
Is that everything that we should talk about? Because we should open the phone call. It's going to end a little early today.
Another big piece of news is Tyler Hoechlin, our boy Tyler Hoechlin, and Elizabeth Tulloch will be in a Superman and Lois TV show. They're making it for CW. So I'm very excited about that. I'm going to watch
thing
that.
happen? When's the
Crisis on Infinite
Yeah,
Earths?
when
is it?
So there's 2 episodes in December,
Oh.
and then we come back in January with 3 episodes.
So it's
there's
a total of
month
5.
break. Yeah, it's a
Wow.
5 episode.
It's like college football.
It
I'm
might be
jumping in
3
for
and
that.
2 actually. It might be 3 in December,
Yeah.
2 in January. It's one of the.
I think they're getting a lot of people because I want to watch it. I've never watched a frame of any of that
It's
stuff.
interesting
neither.
that they're going to have a month intermission.
Yeah, is Dean Cain coming on?
Dean Cain has already been in Supergirl for a long time.
Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher were both in
Oh,
Supergirl.
but not as their characters.
But no, however, they might be now because we have a
Infinite
ton
Earth.
of people who are doing things like that. I mean, Ray Palmer on the show, he played Superman. Brandon Routh is a character,
Right.
but he's coming in as Superman, even though he is Adam on the show. So
Brandon Routh is already on the show.
is already on the
I
show
see.
as a different character
What's
and
Sam
is coming
Witwer
in.
on that show?
What did I just see him in? Also,
He was in Supergirl.
Yeah, he was, and he was
But what was
excellent.
he?
But a villain.
Okay.
But I just saw him in something this week, and he was excellent. What was
Schmodo?
it? No. You guys don't know what I'm talking about? I was like, oh my God, Sam. I'll look it up.
Okay.
He was great. I didn't even hear about it.
All right. Let's get some phone calls going.
Yeah.
We'll do a few phone calls and then we'll call it a day.
Sounds good.
Sound good, Cody?
Not right now, Derek.
My name's
Cool.
Riverdale.
Oh, Riverdale.
Yeah,
Okay.
he
Ow,
popped
all right.
up on Riverdale.
Never seen a frame of that show.
The missus
Agent
is watching.
Liberty. That was his name on Supergirl.
The missus is now watching Nancy Drew, the hot new hot teen detective show.
No.
And she's like 2 episodes in, and even she's like, "This is bad," but I'm
it's
gonna
woof.
keep watching.
Yeah.
Riverdale has gone off of one
Oh, of
too.
course.
Holy
Of
crap!
course it has.
I'm still watching.
Is it atrosh?
It's like totes atrosh. You know what's not atrosh? That I will ride all the way until they decide to tell me I can't ride anymore.
Oh, okay.
Supernatural.
Grey's Anatomy.
Oh,
Yo,
that show is still on the air?
is
You
didn't
so
know that?
good.
I remember
would've
when
told me-
I watched that show.
If you would have told me that show got canceled 3 years ago, I would
I
have told
think
you
we're
that's
on
true.
season 16. I love it.
I
It's
told
so
Roxy
good.
The
last
Simpsons all of a sudden.
because like on TV
Told
Talk,
me
right? We
no.
talk about TV news, and then we do mini reviews of shows, and then we do hypothetical questions at the end. And midway through, like after the first aired, I was like, "Hey, so Roxy, we're not going to do any more Shonda shows. Those are out. No
I
more."
love them.
But are there?
How to Get Away with Murder.
Is anyone still on that show that was on the show?
Yeah.
Meredith Grey.
She's still
Still there.
Ellen Pompeo.
What's she gonna do?
And Karev.
Make a lot of money, is what she's
I-
doing.
Duh.
exactly. She did this. Keep
Right.
paying her
Didn't
millions
she
to do
have?
this
She
show.
had Patrick Dempsey killed off, right?
No.
That's what I heard.
She didn't have him killed off. She was
killed him.
upset. There was a discrepancy with pay. She wanted to make 1 cent more than he did because her name
1
is.
cent?
She said, I would like to make more than he does in principle, whatever that means. It's my show.
Yeah.
And then there was like all different issues.
Yeah,
and
so
then,
he killed his ass.
So they killed him.
Yeah, but I think for other reasons as well. He's got a lot going on. He's booked forever.
Killed his ass. He
But
did.
it was one of the only shows where genuinely, when he died, we all were shook. No, there was no knowledge of it.
I knew.
They didn't. No, you didn't.
I did.
It
I
was
just said
not
it.
leaked. That's not true. No, beforehand.
Oh, I
Nobody
didn't
knew
know
before.
Didn't
No,
even know what happened.
nobody.
Was it like the Red Wedding?
Saw it on the internet.
No, because there was no book.
Oh.
Like people who were book readers knew what was coming.
So it was like South Park Mom. What?
Yes.
The stakes were a little higher.
No. What I'm saying was that the kind of reaction.
What? Yeah. Everybody
Thank
was
you.
shook.
Hey, you're on Anatomy's Grade Talk. Who's this?
Hey, you got Aiden from Boston.
How are
Yes,
you?
Hi, Aiden. What part of Boston?
I am from North Attleboro, not too far from Newton.
Very
Where you're
cool.
from, right?
I am. I'm very excited to have you on the show. Thanks.
Okay, good.
Did you hear?
Sweet.
Oh,
Good
go
to
ahead.
be here.
What do you got for us?
Makuga, are you there?
What
He's
up?
here.
Yeah. So, I was listening to your pitch for Bad Boys 2 on the Riley Roundtable.
Yes.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I really liked it. And,
Thank you.
Bad Boys
The thing I
2.
liked the
Bad Boys
most
2
was you suggested Hugh Jackman as the villain
Yeah.
3.
Bad Boys 3.
Bad Boys 3. Yeah. Yeah.
for Bad Boys 3.
Can't
Now,
really
here's the
pitch
thing,
Bad Boys 2.
I love the Bad Boys movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta tell you, the one thing that I don't particularly like is that they haven't really had like a great villain, and I thought Hugh Jackman would be a great villain.
Ooh, I
So what I
kind
wanted
of,
to ask is, like,
I highly
who are
disagree
your
with you. I think
favorite
Johnny
action movie
Tapia.
villains?
Pardon me?
Johnny Tapia, the boxer?
Josh Tapia.
Oh.
Yeah. Wait, say your question again. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I wanted to ask who your favorite action movie villains are.
I mean, there's one and there's the rest. It's Hans
Hans
Gruber. Yeah, it's Hans Gruber is the greatest villain of all time in the history of action movies.
You can't argue with
Then
that.
the Predator.
But I kind of disagree. Yeah, the Predator.
I think I got one better.
Okay.
You said Gary Oldman, I'm going to throw you off the plane.
I got Ed Harris and The Rock.
Ed Harris wasn't a villain.
He wasn't a villain. He ended up flipping on him.
Yeah.
If anything, it was his other couple of soldiers that ended up killing him.
Ed Harris wasn't a villain. He had a vision of what he wanted to do. He might not agree
wanted
with what he
money.
did, but yeah, and he
Did
wanted,
not want to kill people.
But he wanted money for a different reason.
For the Vietnam vets,
right?
And people
right.
that,
Yeah, he wasn't a villain at all.
Who do you guys think is the best female action villain?
Villain?
I like can barely think of any.
Well, Charlize Theron
Charlize.
in Fast and Furious.
She was good in that.
Lena Headey and Dredd.
Lena Headey in Dredd is fantastic.
Great
That's
call.
all.
That's a
Good
good
pick.
pull.
Great,
Yeah.
great call. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, she's a psycho in that movie.
She really is.
Love a good psycho. Have you guys been hearing this song? Cute but a little bit psycho, a little bit psycho.
I doubt it's a song like that.
No,
No chance.
haven't heard that. That one missed me.
and I would
can
have
you help me?
to disagree
Sweet
with our
but a
caller.
little bit psycho.
The villain in the first Bad Boys, it's not Charles Dance, but it's like the other British dude that plays him.
It's some French dude, isn't it?
He's a French dude, yeah. Caller's still on.
not it.
Thanks for your call,
Thank
man.
you for the call.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Little bit psycho.
What do you like better, the Psycho or Spooky Spooky?
Spooky, spooky. But I do want Cody to play the psycho song.
He's not going to play. What
the hell am I supposed to search?
Psycho. It's like
Good
one of the
response,
most
Cody.
popular.
What I love about it is where when she originally asked him, he just said "fuck it" and played Spooky Spooky.
Yeah.
All right, Cody, let's do one more call.
Sweet
We'll
but
call it a
psycho
day.
or cute but psycho. It's one of those.
Johnny Tapia, great boss.
Hey, you're on Collider Live. Who's this?
Hey, it's Nathan from Dallas.
Hello,
Hey,
Nathan.
Nathan.
Dallas. Nathan, close us out today. What do you got?
Hey, so I don't remember where I was reading it, but I remember also. Actually, first, I just want to say I'm a big fan. I've been watching
no, thank you.
since like 2014.
Thanks,
Wow.
Nate Dog.
I'm sad to see you go, but I'm excited to see where you go on the Smart Entertainment Network.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Nathan.
So, anyways, I remember reading with the Benioff and Weiss thing that they were actually working on the post-Skywalker trilogy. I was wondering. I remember reading it was one of the trades, I think, the trustworthy publication. I can't remember where though.
I think that, I haven't read that. I think
Yeah.
that would be a big error for them to continue on and do right now. It's like continue.
Well, they're not.
Yeah, they're not.
So-
But he said this. It
But
said that
the
you read
original
something like that.
report.
Think
Yeah,
it
I
would've
didn't
been there?
hear that.
I didn't hear that either, but I hope that it's not true because I don't want to let. First of all, they have to recontract all these people, and then you have to basically just continue everything that you just did with these characters. Well, let's find new characters. I think that if they said it in the Old Republic, you have so much good there and so much that you don't have to live up to. You're creating brand new things, even though it takes place years before. You see the Sith, you see the Jedi, you get lightsabers, you get the Force, you get
lots of lightsabers.
You get Republic, you get the old Republic, you get the Sith army. You can do all these things, and if they establish Mandalore the right way in the Mandalorian show and go over the history. The Mandalorians fought with the Sith back in the day. And if they set that up and I remember when they were talking about in The Mandalorian, you see that, you can set all this stuff up. And I think it would be an error to continue on and do 10, 11, and 12 right away.
When you say Mandalore, I think of Bangalore, the thing that they use in Saving Private Ryan when they're swimming the beach.
I thought you were thinking of Bangarang.
Bangarang.
Hook.
Bangarang.
Yeah.
Who got that question wrong?
Ben.
It was Ben?
He sure did. He sure did. All right, everybody. Hashtag. That's the show. Thank you for joining us here today on the show. We got about 3 episodes left with me, motherfuckers. And then we're going to have a whole new regime coming in next Monday. So join us, will you, tomorrow? And thank you to Roxy and Riley and Makuga and Cody Hall. And head on over to theschmodownlive.com. Get those tickets for the spectacular. December 7th. Meet all of us. Come watch some great shows. Founding Fathers, I can say now, defending those titles. So watch that. We'll see you later.
Spooky things doing spooky dance.